Good morning, everybody. Today is May 8th, Tuesday, 2018. We have a great guest for you today. But before we even get into all that, I know you know that I got to tell you about one thing, and that's this episode of the podcast is brought to you by D. McKelly's Barbershop and Emporium, located at 6 Kirby Road in Cromwell, Connecticut, exit 21 off of I-91. D. McKelly specializes in all types of men's haircuts and hot shaves. Services are available by appointment only, which can be made conveniently online at DMcKellysBarbershop.com. That's DIMICHELES barbershop.com, or by calling 860-502-3540. Gift cards are available in any denomination, and they also offer their own personal favorite, their own water-soluble pomade. So go get a fresh cut, a clean shave, and some awesome product, and tell them Ben sent you. D. McKelly's Barbershop and Emporium, responsible barbering. So check it out. If you guys are using, any of the men out there are using a certain type of pomade that's super hold, almost like concrete, email me a picture of it. I have a lot. I use D. McKelly's, and I use like all different kinds of shit. But if there's something that I don't know about, email me a picture of that shit. Ben at benbreaksbread.com, or DM me one in Instagram. I got a big old shelf I built in my bathroom, and it's kind of turned into like an art project where I just display all the pomade that I can accrue over the years. I'm going to bring it back today. I'm going to start talking about area events, things that I think you guys would be interested in. So today's Tuesday, May 8th. So let's look at something on Wednesday, May 9th. It's the Herd Wine Dinner. Herd is a pretty cool restaurant on 200 Main Street in Middletown. It's 6:30 to 9:30. Learn about winemaking at home while sampling some special hand-picked wines. Regular price $65 per person, but sign up by April 16th at a special price of $60. Course 1, oysters 2 ways. Course 2, spring lamb lollipop. Course 3, duck. Course 4, deconstructed beef Wellington. Course 5, peach crumble. Ooh, I love a motherfucking crumble, my motherfucker. Yeah, that spot's pretty good. I've heard nothing but good things. Get down there if you're in Middletown. Check it out. Let's see, what else do we got here? Friday, May 11th. My boy Chechi Ramos, Enemy, the Illest, and Strife at Strange Brew Pub in Norwich, Connecticut. That's 297 West Main Street in Norwich, Connecticut. An evening of live hip-hop music featuring Chechi Ramos, Enemy, the Illest, and Strife with special guests. 21 plus, $5 general admission, live music at 9. People playing are Chechi, my boy Sketch the Cataclysm, Enemy, Strife, Zetro the Great, Freddie G, and my boy, a great friend of the podcast, Scobie One. That's going to be at 86 Water Street in the Chelsea Landing District of historic downtown Norwich. Check it out. Go on down there. Check out my boys. Those are all my people. What else we got here? United States Bartenders Guild, New Haven, Monkey 47 Gin Shindig. My boy Demetrios from Highland Brass and Litchfield Distillery looks to be throwing this motherfucker. Details. Join the USBG New Haven chapter as we welcome Monkey 47 brand ambassador Lacey Hawkins. She will host a seminar about Monkey 47 gin and even whip up some cocktails. Light bites and cocktails will be served by your favorite hooligans at Highland Brass. That should be cool. Yeah, that's that is going to be taking. It's going to be happening at Highland Brass, 728 Highland Ave in Waterbury, and that's this Monday coming up. A nice industry night, so you people that work in the industry can go there on a Monday night. And I think that's it. That is it for right now, until we get to next week. So, I had the utmost pleasure of interviewing my good friend Roy Riedl of Mercado Food Truck and El Pollo Guapo. We talk about his beginnings in the food scene, what it takes to run a successful food truck. We get into all kinds of stuff. We talk about him being a business owner and a boss and the role you have to play to your crew to remain effective but also remain cool. Roy is both of those. Yeah, Ray. Jesus Christ. I'm getting old. I need to start to... If anybody knows of any good brain stuff, and I tried, what do you call it, from On It. Doesn't really work for me. I'm on a bunch of thiamine right now. If anybody knows of any good supplements for your memory and your brain, hit me up. The word finding is in the toilet. Yeah, we just talk about a bunch of good shit. He makes some of the best fucking food I've ever eaten that came out of a food truck. If you don't know about the Mercado food truck, you are probably living on a fucking fourth astral plane. Not of this dimension. Their queso frito is one of my favorite things to eat. They got good ass empanadas. They serve a couple different empanadas at the restaurant. We get into a bunch of good shit. He's a great guy. I had him on a few months back when we did the Live at Goldberger's thing, but for some reason, most of his region was deleted and I didn't even know, and I felt really bad, and I knew we had to get him back. So we did the fucking damn thing. Now, I want to remind you guys, go on to iTunes. Please leave me a 5-star review. Write me a sick fucking little, comment. You can call me a fucking asshole sucking freak monster. I don't really care. Just write whatever you want. Let me know how you feel about the podcast. If you like it, if you love it, if you think there's something I could be doing better. I'm always open for criticism. Keep your ears to the ground. I am helping a dear friend of mine, Christine Chase Greenwood, do another charity art auction at Art Space on June 2nd. Mark your calendars. I will have a flyer up in the next couple days. I'm pretty much just helping her facilitate the food end of it, the food and wine end of it. But guess what? Your boy got a piece in the show. And it's going to be fucking $1 million. Check it out. Maybe I'll post a couple pictures before I go put it up on the wall. Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be a secret. Either way, do all that things that I just told you to do. Sit tight. Listen to my boy Roy. We're going to get into it. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Roy Riedl.
I break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, I break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, I break bread, break
So when we were at Goldberger's, how long ago was that? Last summer? End of last summer?
It was when Goldberger's was there.
Yeah. When did that Goldberger's go out? We had you. Who else did we have? We had
Somebody from Puerto Rico. Some Puerto Rican chef.
I can't remember. No, my friend Wiley, and then some other guy. Who's the third person?
He was a Puerto Rican chef.
Wiley, and
I think it was somebody that was involved in the Puerto Rico, right? Wasn't it somebody that was doing something in Puerto Rico? I didn't get to hear the podcast.
I can't remember. My memory is shot. I remember talking to Tim and what's his name, Matt, and then my buddy Wiley, who's just like a realty photographer. We were just pulling people out of line and talking to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I did the mix, I don't know what happened, but you talked for about 30 seconds and then it went out.
Yeah.
But it was seamless because somebody else just started talking. So I lost like a region.
Right.
Like when you like record like this, it's just like a line of you, but then like you go into another track and like you could do something else. And I must have like clipped it without knowing. And yeah, I felt really bad.
That's
and
all right.
Now you're back and we're going to fucking...
I just went for some pork.
We're good. Yeah. We're going to do it right. So I was just asking you about your Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm.
You do like your Apple Watch.
I love my Apple Watch.
I remember when I asked people maybe like 2 years ago, I was like, should I get an Apple Watch? And all my friends were like, if you want to look gay as fuck. And now I'm just like, I like it because I got one because I had a really, really bad, I'm like glued to my phone.
Yeah.
And if I bring it to work, no work gets done.
Right.
And it really affected me. Like my production went into the toilet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I literally was on my phone until like a patient walked in my room. Then I would talk to them and then they would leave and I'd get back on Instagram. I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is my career. So I like left it at home and I went and got the Apple Watch, and now all I can really, like I can do my email on my computer, but all I can really do is like call and text.
Right.
I don't have any apps installed on it. I have like some weird ones, like one for like when I go golfing, like a rangefinder, but there's no social media on it. And my work production went back to where it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have the same. I don't have a ton of free time to be looking at my phone, but I find myself every free second that I have, I'm on it and
checking it out.
That's the same thing, doing another task and then getting right back onto it for no reason at all. But
it's rough, man, and it's like you get sucked in, and it's not even like you're just like you got nothing to do. Like people are like, oh, you're on social media, you're just fucking around. Sometimes I'm like looking at things, like I'm looking at food pictures, I'm looking at restaurants, and I'll tell people I'm researching, you know what I mean? But like then you just go like you get sucked into it.
Totally sucked into
Facebook is just another fucking.
But I mean, the reason I have the watch, the reason I love the watch is because my phone's in my pocket. Most of the time I'm wearing gloves and both my hands are tied doing something. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I can at least, my wife likes to get in contact with me multiple times a day. And most of the time I don't have my phone on me. I can just look at my watch, see what the text is. I know if it's urgent enough that I need to respond to it. I got my timers on it. Timers are key for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then, I'm just hitting a time and, 5-minute timer, it's off on my arm because anytime I put something in the oven, if I don't set a timer, it burns. I forget about it.
Wow. So you'd use the damn thing.
I use it. I use it religiously. My tasks.
That's awesome.
All my tasks are on there. I can undo my tasks, do my tasks. I have a million things to do a day. So
if I had one, there's a couple things that I wish they would add, but you know what I don't like is, how when you're on your iPhone, you could look at like your full calendar.
Yes.
You know how it only gives you like 5 days?
I don't like that.
I don't like that. And you can't enter things from it.
Right.
Like you need to go to your phone and enter the thing.
Yeah.
I bet you they'll change that at some point. That's like
nice.
Probably the number one gripe I have with it. But like when I talk on it, it's fine. When I text on it, it's fine.
Yeah.
I like the little like drawing thing to like text, like when you draw the letters, that works fine. When you talk to text, that works fine.
I use the finder on there probably at least once a day.
To find your phone?
To find my phone.
Oh, really? I've never even done that.
No?
No. Which one is it? Oh, so you go there? Oh, and it'll tell you where your phone is? So your phone's right there?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. See, there's so many things about it that I know I don't use.
I put a flashlight on here.
Oh, really?
Just a white screen.
I use the one for the rangefinder at the golf course. Like you could download an app that pretty much has all the info on like, any area golf course, and it'll like, it's GPS. So you can stand there and it'll be like, you're 96 yards from the hole. And that's cool. Yeah. Because some of the carts have that little machine inside that do that, but some just don't. So you'll know what club to use. Yeah, dude, I love it. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. Did you go out and get yourself a fancy band?
No.
You see some of those?
I got food grade silicone wedding band. I'm just I go straight for functionality.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. Your wedding band matches your band on your watch. That's sick. That's awesome.
So tell me that looks stupid. Come on.
No, that's awesome. I'm trying to figure out mine right now. Meg's father passed away like 7-8 years ago, something like that. And he's got a sick wedding band. It's like gold, and it's not like the same all the way around. There's like small dots around the top of it and small dots around the bottom, but it's like it fits on my pinky. Yeah. And my grandfather gave me his class ring, or my grandmother gave it to me. He's been deceased for 20 years. And I think I'm going to take both of them and melt them down to make one ring. But I got to find somebody to do it. And like a couple people know people, but nobody's gotten back to me yet about it. It's probably a really involved process.
I would assume so.
Whatever.
It would have some
just
sentimental
crazy
value.
Big. Yeah, it would be dope. You know what I mean? But
you don't want to sport the pinky ring?
No, not for my wedding band. Like I would, but you know, she'd probably be bummed about it. So Roy Riedl, we got you here. If anybody knows food trucks in the area, if you don't have Mercado coming up in your brain as one of the most prominent ones, there's something wrong. You also own a restaurant on the Berlin Turnpike called El Pollo Guapo that specializes in rotisserie chicken. Mm-hmm. So Roy has a food truck called Mercado, and they do all the, local breweries and, farmers markets, stuff like that. Yeah. You guys ever pull up to like anything else? People ask you to do events?
We do a lot of private events. We do a lot of public events. We were in Bushnell Park
at lunch,
during lunch, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We kind of have a little bit of a different, more of a lunch focused menu there. Kind of, I guess you could say it's kind of a dumbed down version of what we really do. If you can catch us at, say, the No Good Market coming up this Thursday.
That's a little bit of a more adventurous crowd.
Adventurous crowd. We put an octopus taco on last time we were there and crushed it. Sold 30 portions in like.
You wouldn't be able to do that outside of the Travelers building.
That's exactly.
That one weirdo would be like, let me get that. You know what I mean?
But it's you can find us at a lot of different places. Really, I mean, my wife's pretty good at keeping up with the social media and letting everybody know, where we're at. But more specifically, Coventry every Sunday for the summer, starting in June through October, and then lunches at Bushnell Park.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I that's where I first found out about the truck was at the Coventry Farmers Market. And then shortly after that, I remember going to Meg's old work for their Christmas party or their work party, and you guys were there. And I was like, dude, this is in South Hadley, Mass. Like, we're a good, good ways away. You've had a bunch of stuff over the years, but I will tell you right now, please don't ever get rid of that queso Frito.
Queso, yeah.
The fried, I know that there's a certain cheese out there called frying cheese, but it's not. You guys don't use that. What kind of cheese are you using?
It's queso. It's called queso de fryer.
Okay.
So it is queso of frying cheese is what it is.
The only other time I've seen it marketed as frying cheese, Trader Joe's sold it for a long time, and I remember like they do demo shit. They obviously don't have do you guys deep fry that?
We fry it, yep.
Dude, it's like some of the best thing. It looks like when you really do a marshmallow well. Yes. It looks like it gets those black bubbles on the outside. Holy shit. That's my favorite thing. And you guys have done some weird tacos and just like, what are the things like, not the bread. You do all different kinds of like flatbreads,
crostinis, flatbreads. Yeah, yep. Especially if you probably seen at the market, we do a lot of that. It's just kind of a good way to display fresh ingredients, seasonal ingredients. You know what I'm saying?
And
it's just like it's a base. You know what I'm saying? To do it because we do tapas, we do all small plates. So to me, to just serve somebody asparagus. I think it's gonna be a tough sell on a food truck, you know. But if I'm doing an asparagus crostini with stracciatella cheese, it kind of completes the dish and kind of makes it a little bit more marketable, I guess, to the crowd as opposed to being like asparagus on the menu. You know,
totally.
We're not
it works
a la carte restaurant where you're getting a protein and and a side. So
your empanadas fucking are great too, and you also do a chicken one at the restaurant.
Yeah, they're very similar. I mean, one's pork, one's chicken. Their recipes are essentially exactly the same, and they all use sweet chili sauce, so my ploy. So it's a specific chili sauce. My first job I ever had in the kitchen was at Kraft Steak, and that was at the casino. And we had a family meal every night. And the dishwashers would make family meal, and most of the time it was just complete shit.
Yeah.
The only saving grace was we kept a case of my ploy hanging around, and we would just douse everything. Chicken wings, whatever it was that they were cooking us, we would just throw a bunch of sweet chili sauce. And I told myself if I ever opened up a restaurant or if I ever, designed a menu, that I would design a menu item specifically designed around the sweet chili sauce. And it just so happened to taste really good with the pork. and I stuffed it inside of an empanada, and that was it. And then you know, obviously we went over to the chicken restaurant, and we have, you know, we're cooking tons of chicken every day, and you know, we don't sell every single chicken that we cook every single day, so we need to do something with the with leftover chicken, and it's you know, with the sweet chili sauce, and people are really liking it.
There was a thing that I had never even known it existed until I found out about your food, and that's tahini salt.
Tahini is
it's like a hot salt, or it's like a lime hot salt. Well, how would you?
Chili lime seasoning is really what it is, but I think there's a little crack in it or something.
It's so good. I can't get over it.
It's really what we season everything with. It's kind of, I think it's why people crave the food, you know. It's not just like, oh, I want to go to Guapo. It's like, I'm craving Guapo, and it is. I think it's because of that seasoning. I think it's because of the, you know, the tart lime and the little bit of a tiny bit of heat and the salt.
It's kind of like, it's not adobo, but it's if it was sold in the store, you'd see it next to it.
It is sold in the store. You can get it at Aldi.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I've never seen it anywhere until I met you. I had never seen it used in any menu. I've never even heard of it until you showed me, and I was blown away.
Traditionally, it's actually used on fruit in Mexico. So
it's like like on the side of the road where they cut up the melon and shit.
Exactly, and they roll it in the tahini, and that's really what it's used for. We actually, funny story, we had the I was purchasing, funny story, I'll give you a background about the tahini anyhow, why we're even using it. I ordered like 120 bottles by mistake off of Amazon. It was the only place that I could find it. I wanted to mess around with it. I hit enter like a bunch of times. I didn't think it went through, and literally over the next month I was getting cases of like 12 of them. I got like 10 cases of 12 and I'm sitting here on a bunch of cases of tahini salt.
It's never going bad.
And I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do with this? Well, I just put it on everything. So that's how we ended up, that flavor profile kind of ended up coming too. But we were purchasing, you know, after we opened up the restaurant, we were purchasing so much of it, and I couldn't find any wholesalers that would sell us cases of it. So I was still purchasing it through Amazon at way too much money an ounce.
Oh yeah.
So I finally found a distributor that was able to do it for me, and I reached out to Tahini, and they sent me a rep. And the rep came by and was asking what we were doing for her. And I showed her all the things that we were doing with the tahini, and she actually had to physically take pictures of everything that we were doing to send back to the president of the company in Mexico, because he couldn't believe that we were using it for all these things.
That's amazing. That's cool.
So I thought that was pretty cool too. Like, she was like literally taking pictures. She's like, oh, you put it on your chips? Oh, you put it on the chicken? Like, you know. Oh,
what did they use it for? Like, why were they so astounded?
I'm pretty sure all they did. Legitimately, they're pretty sure they just put it out on fruit.
When I was in LA the last time, I remember going, like, you see the guys on the street with the little carts, and they do like pineapple, watermelon, maybe some coconut. There's a couple other things in there, and then they put it in the bag and they shake it.
Yeah.
And I always just thought that was like their little. They made the mixture, maybe like a little cayenne, maybe a little paprika, salt, and lime. But like, now that I know that I can go to Aldi and get that,
yes.
When we're done, I'm gonna go get a bottle and I'm gonna go get like some. Dude, Meg's never had that.
Yeah.
You put that shit on pineapple. That shit's so good.
Yeah.
That's great. Dude.
Interesting, right?
That's very interesting.
But it was just a beautiful mistake.
That's
really
awesome.
Is what it is, and I think that, you know, I think really that's a big part of the reason why we've been getting such a great response, and why people kind of have that craving, you know, because it's a really unique flavor with that dehydrated lime is addictive.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, like, you guys do rotisserie chicken, you do empanadas, you do bowls, you do some small tacos, your plantains. Like, I don't know about the rest of the population, but I fucking go bonkers for plantains.
Me too.
And you're, you like flash fry Brussels sprouts. Those are like, I've had Brussels sprouts all over, and I went to a restaurant where they did like an appetizer, like Brussels sprouts 3 ways, and like they took like just like the, you know, when the leaves fall off the end without like having to pull them, they would flash fry those and like serve them like chips, you know, and then they do 2 other kinds. Dude, those are the best I've ever had.
Thank you.
And I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if it's tahini sauce, but it's just like, and I think a lot of it's got to do with like frying them, but like, and then you put like, what is it?
But we also, you know, another thing that I would love people to know about, that the shortening that you use in your friolators is important, and the reason why I think that people like our Brussels sprouts is because we're not buying the commodity shortening, we're not buying the cheap stuff. That's when you get soggy fried food, and it's not done correctly. We change our fryer oil out when we need to change it out. You know, like, we don't try to push it another day. You know,
you guys do it fairly quickly.
We filter out on a daily basis, and when it's done, it's done. We don't try to push it another day. You know, because we know. I mean, that's one of our right, and flavor transfers, it's and then the Brussels sprouts become soggy. A lot of big reason is because people think that you're just dropping stuff into a fryer. There's a real art to it, and it's important that people know that.
It's like driving a car. If the oil's too old, something's gonna fuck it up. You know what I mean? And I've tasted like French fries that were fried in oil that was passed, and it tastes like shit.
It does.
You know what I mean? But you could take those same French fries with no seasoning and put them in new oil, and it tastes completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah, and the thing, I think you were the one that I started learning about this from. I always knew, like, no, I think you were the one that told me, like, people come and buy the oil, right? You can sell the oil for some shit?
Yeah.
So why do some of these restaurants have those weird black dumpsters in the back where you only put oil?
Mostly all of them have that.
So that's what they buy?
Those companies buy that back, right? So what they'll do is they send the truck out to come pick up the shortening, and then I'll get a check, like, usually it's like $20 or something like that, per load or something. But
per the whole
thing, yeah.
Dude, for something that most people would throw out, who gives a shit?
Exactly. And I used to be working out of my house, and I used to put all the shortening back into the containers, and I had a guy that actually used to come to my house like once a month and pick up 10 things of used shortening, and he would bring it back to his house to filter, and he had a vehicle. He showed me his vehicle. He literally had it. He filled it up from his trunk. He had this old Volkswagen Jetta that he converted into.
It would go off of.
It would go off of the fry oil. So he would process it at his house, and that's what he would use to fill it up. So I was legitimately fueling his. And he was also using it to fuel his warehouse where he was doing all his work. He was a mason or something like that, and he did some stuff inside of his. So I was helping him heat his business, and also giving him fuel for his car in return for him getting it off of my hands.
That's fucking crazy.
So yeah, there's a big use for it. There really is. And
that's awesome.
I mean, I get $20 for maybe for when I fill up one of those bins, but I don't even really think about it. It just,
I'll tell you what, like,
it's a great service.
Every time I cook something that like drains a lot of fat off, you always like throw it in a jar or something. Mm-hmm. But when I, for a long time when I was doing like a high fat diet, I would save only the bacon grease and cook shit in it.
Yeah.
I would save it. Like all the other stuff I get rid of, like, because it kind of get like stuff from ground beef just gets gross and shit. But the bacon grease is always consistent. I would cook other shit in the bacon grease and fucking make it.
Well, that's what we do. That's how we do our chicken fat potatoes. We trim all of our birds. We trim, all the fat off. Some of the trim, the little butt thing hanging on the end. Mm-hmm. We trim those and we render out the fat. We put them into the oven and we render out the fat. And
you take the drippings.
So we put them on a rack. All the drippings come to the bottom. We put them into a pot and we basically boil our fingerling potatoes in chicken fat.
Okay.
So yeah, you can use all sorts of different types of grease, and that's kind of a play off of the truck where we do the duck fat potatoes. Yeah,
I was gonna say, so the duck fat, like people when you see it anywhere, that's the same process,
right? Same process, yeah. So we're using a lot of the same techniques in both places, and you'll see very similar flavor profiles on some menu items, but really Mercado is kind of our test kitchen. So, last year our menu was really heavy with plantains. It was really heavy with the aiolis, a lot of stuff for the restaurant to promote the restaurant, also to be recipe testing. And this year I think you're going to see with Mercado, you're going to see a little bit of a different menu. It's going to be a little bit more Mediterranean. It's going to be a little bit more Spanish. You're going to not really see the plantains because people can go to the restaurant and get that, and we want to separate. So I hired a chef to help me out run, Bruce Baptista. He's been at a lot of great places in and around the area. He was recently at Cavi's. He was at On 20. He was at the Mill at 2T. So he's been at a lot of really, really good places, and he's Portuguese. He's from Portugal. So
okay.
You know, I'm really hoping. I know that he's already adding a great dimension to our team and help elevate the food and kind of, you know, bring a little something new to the table with Mercado.
I'm psyched. I would love to see new shit from you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. We're really excited. We're really excited about it.
It's cool that you say, like, and you, like, specified, like, from Spain. Because it's two totally different things.
Totally
like,
different
your
things.
regular C-town shit,
right,
like, from America, like, that all your Puerto Rican friends and Spanish friends are eating. And then you go to Spain.
Right.
And it's a total different fucking ball game out there.
It sure is.
Yeah. What was I fucking... I was going to say something. God damn it. It went. Sauces. Those fucking sauces. Chimichurri. The lime aioli.
Garlic lime, yep.
Garlic lime. Then there's the sriracha one.
Sriracha aioli.
And then there's that hot, like, vinegar.
Sweet and spicy vinegar.
Sweet and spicy vinegar. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if anybody has never eaten at Pollo Guapo, you need to, number one. But just know that there's these 4 sauces that you will come with, you know, food. And then if you want more, you can buy them. But I dip everything. Like, I eat the Brussels sprouts by themselves.
Yep.
But those plantains,
yes, I
set the 4 things up, and I get, like, really OCD about it, and I make sure I get a little bit of everything, and then I just eat the chicken, like, with my hands, and I dip it in every single one of them things. And I've eaten in the restaurant. I went and picked it up. Actually, a couple times I was super lazy one night. Uber Eats came and got it for me, and I was just like, dude, this is so great. But the thing is, like, you guys are literally, like, not even, like, probably like 5-10 minute drive tops from here.
Yeah, not far at all.
But yeah, dude, like, what you're more on the Hartford end of the Berlin Turnpike,
right.
So if anybody doesn't know, like, that's
down by the Hooters end. We're hoping to call it down by the El Pollo Guapo end, but the Hooters is the biggest landmark that we can.
It's on the other side of the street. I've sent people there for my work.
Yeah,
and they've come back the next day and they're like, dude, where the fuck did that place come from? That's fucking sick. And, like, there were just all different kinds of people, like, just like what they like to eat, and everybody came back. Like, I mean, like, super basic people that eat like bullshit for lunch, and they were just like, that shit is so good.
That's what I found really surprising actually about Guapo, is that, like, I knew that chicken's for everyone, right? But what I was a little bit, like, nervous about was, true, Puerto Ricans from Puerto Rico coming in, or Peruvians from Peru coming in, and being like, well, what the hell is this, you know? Believe it or not, we've gotten, like, a really, really great response from that crowd. I think it's different enough that they're not sitting there comparing our plantains to their grandma's totones that they were making, you know.
But it's not far off.
But it's not that far off. So I think it has some of those familiar flavors and some of the familiar, verbiage and ingredients. But it's far enough away where they feel like they don't need to compare it to anything, and they just like it.
And the thing is, like, people, you hear rotisserie chicken, and the first thing that comes to mind is, like, a Boston market type of thing, or, like, a place that does it themselves, like in a C-town. Like, I've seen them in C-town and shit like that. But it's a totally like next level.
It is totally next level. I mean, it wasn't really meant to be perfectly honest with you, Ben. I mean, it was really meant to be like a Boston market.
Yeah,
I mean, it was meant to be very, very much scoop and serve, and and filling up the front line, and having relatively unskilled workers be working, being able to work there, but still being able to provide a quality ingredient. It really kind of morphed into something else, and it's kind of a hybrid of, like, a full service restaurant and a fast food restaurant now. Yeah. Food's getting picked up to order. Our birds are getting, brined, for 48 hours minimum, getting cooked to perfection on the rotisserie from a incredibly skilled guy, Louis Fiore.
That's my boy.
And it's not Boston market. It's really not, and it's not Stop and Shop. There's a lot of care that's being taken into it, and I think it's helping bridge the gap between the fancy restaurants, the fancy sit down restaurants, and the fast food places that you want to go in and go out.
The thing I love about, like, your staff is the couple guys I know that work there, 2 or 3 of them. They, like, that's their niche. They want to be known as Louis from El Pollo Guapo. Right. Like, they're happy to let people know that that's where they're from. They're like a gang, and that's their shit. You know what I mean? Because in the food world or this like area, like that's known to be good, and they're proud to work there. I love seeing shit like that.
It's awesome. It's a great feeling.
You see people that are like leaving the kitchen at night, like fucking, I can't wait to go home. Those dudes are psyched, and they would fucking sleep on the kitchen floor if they had to. They're happy. Tony, like he's great, and it says a lot about something about you, like as a restaurant, as like a business owner,
right?
To make people react like that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's the whole goal from the very beginning with my wife and I, with our businesses is, I've always felt underappreciated, underpaid, at every job that I've ever had, not intentionally, I don't think, by anybody, but I've just always set high expectations for myself. And I feel like I've always exceeded the expectations that I've set for myself, but not necessarily seeing it reciprocated on the other side. Mm-hmm. We wanted to be able to provide a great environment for our employees. It's a tough industry, and we work really hard. And there's no point in not enjoying your day, because the second that I stop enjoying what I'm doing,
you're going to be one of those people you used to work for.
Right. The second that happens, the whole business is going to close down, because there's
no love anymore.
There's no love anymore. And these guys that are in the kitchen now, they love it, and they're seeing the growth. They're seeing what's happening. We just had our biggest day yesterday on Cinco de Mayo. Everybody did a fantastic job. I was gone all day at catering events, and they still held it down, and they did a great job. And we beat records, and every single one of those guys went out last night and hung out and celebrated a victory, as if it was a sporting event. In fact, we had Gatorade in there because it was hot as hell.
Yep.
I had a Gatorade thing, and the whole Gatorade thing got poured over the top of Lewis's head for beating our record. So it felt like an actual sporting event last night, and I'm so proud of my team for doing that, and for being excited at the end of it. You know what I mean? They got their asses kicked.
I can imagine.
For
tickets flying
10 straight hours, Jesus. And at the end of the day, I come back and everyone's still in a good mood. Everyone's excited that we beat the record. It's not just, they're not just in there to work. They see something on the other side.
They have a goal too.
Right.
That's
right.
awesome.
And that's the thing. And I've been very fortunate to be able to hire a lot of skilled people, and people that have a lot of experience at a lot of places. I don't have any, 16-year-old kids working for me. I don't have any 18-year-old kids. I think the youngest guy I got working for me right now is 25. Mm-hmm. So these are people that are, they're not interested in working, just working on the line their whole lives. These are people that are interested in developing their skills and being professional, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see.
That's a lot, dude. As far like being the business owner, because you gotta figure there's other guys in your shoes, like every day that have to worry about what's going to happen when they leave. They have to worry about like their employees like leaving because they're not being treated well. Mm-hmm. Like it must be like awesome that you don't have to worry about shit like that.
I worry about it every day, man.
You might, but
it doesn't. But worrying about it is, I think, what's important. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to worry about it. If you're not worried about it, then you really don't care. And what's the point in employing somebody if you don't really care about them?
True. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I worry about it. It's the biggest worry that I have is making sure that the people that I have are happy, because without them everything crumbles.
You keep it on your mind.
We have so much going on. I'm pulled in so many different directions. Mm-hmm. Without our staff, we are legitimately nothing.
Yeah.
And and that's, it's got to get reciprocated.
They're the wheels.
And we try to reciprocate that to our employees and let them know that they're appreciated, and there's an open policy. You guys can come and talk to us about anything.
Yeah.
You're not liking something.
It's pretty tight knit. Yeah, I could see like in a big restaurant, they wouldn't be able to do that. You couldn't go to your boss and like tell them something that you had like a problem with, or what I mean. Like, that's a pretty nice I said nice tight knit crew.
Well, you've also been in our kitchen before too, and it's small and it's hot, and there's no room for There's no room for people not getting along, and there's
you're right there. You're on top of each other.
You can legitimately, if someone's not having a good day, you can legitimately feel those vibes. That's how close you are to somebody.
Totally.
And, there's not really much room for it. So I'm thankful for what we have right now, and and moving on to the future.
So, where did you get your start?
So I started, I would say I started on my couch, living in Hamden, working for W.B. Mason, selling paper and pencils. I started watching Food Network. That's where I started.
Really?
And yeah, it's kind of a corny, cheesy story, but I was about 20.
With no food experience whatsoever.
I shouldn't say I had no food experience. I had worked in restaurants all over the place. I started at Bertucci's when I was 16. I worked pizza. I loved it. Again, I compared it to sports. That's what I've been doing my whole life. So I really enjoyed doing it. When I was going to college, back in 2002, being a chef wasn't a career. It was like what you did, like if you couldn't do anything else. You know what I'm saying? So like in my parents' eyes, that's what it was. It wasn't a career option. It was, I went to Glassbury High School. Go to college.
Yeah,
just go. And it didn't really work out too well for me there. I mean, I graduated Quinnipiac University. I have a bachelor's degree from them. I don't remember anything from there, but it came and gone. I don't where I was going with this, but it started. Okay, so that's where it was, right? Now, we come back. So this is where it started. So
food-wise, your first
I ended
job.
up just going to college. And getting a job, basically, is what I did. And then I ended up, working in the real world for a little while and realizing it's not for me. I ended up having a sales job where it was very lax. I was able to be out on my own all day. I ended up not going out, basically, sitting on my couch, thinking about what I was going to cook, going shopping, trying to replicate things by myself in the kitchen, and then just something sparked. It was just maybe like a quarter life crisis. It was like, I gotta do this. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And I decided to take the leap and do it. And went to culinary school for 1 year, went to Craft Steak, worked there for a little while, and then got a sous chef position over at Barcelona, West Hartford, met my wife, got out of the business again, and then a couple years later got back into the business and started Mercado.
Together.
That's
awesome. Yeah. I remember her telling me that last week, and I never knew that about you two. And we talked about Barcelona for a while. And I remember, like, I've been there. I actually haven't been in a while, and Meg's never been, so I would like to bring her.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of different experiences in that building.
Yeah.
Some were good, some were bad.
Yeah. Me too.
I can imagine.
There's a lot of people out there listening to this that can say the same thing, I'm sure.
Dude, I was there. I used to date this girl from Brooklyn a long time ago, and she would come up here on the weekends. I'd go down there, and for like Valentine's Day, I took her there, and like in the middle of dinner, we got into a fight, and I remember I just walked out, and she didn't know the area. So like I like ran away, and she's like in her car, and if I could have lost her, she wouldn't have known how to get anywhere. And this is before like Google, like maps on your phone. Yeah. And I remember I was just trying to ditch her. I'm like running down like South Main. But another time, I've had really, really good meals there. And another time I was with my friend Murray that used to tattoo at Flying Tiger, Murray Sell. His wife, Melissa, for the longest time, in the area, she was known as like a fucking cutthroat, mean bitch. She's awesome. She's got 3 kids, but this girl like gets shit done when she's mad. And I don't remember what happened, but we were all like, there was like 8 of us. It was somebody's birthday party, and we were all there. And there was like, we weren't done eating yet, and we wanted to order more food. And like, remember the servers were just like looking at us, not like coming over. And to me, that's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But to this girl, she was fucking livid because it was her idea to bring these people out. Right. So like, kind of look bad on her, you know what I mean? And I remember she was like, I want to talk to the manager, and like the manager came over, and I forget who it was. I know you would know who he was, but he came over.
Jay Bosk.
And she got up with him, and like they went over to the corner, and I couldn't hear, but I just remember looking, and I saw her finger going, like pointing in his face, and I remember him being like, listen, I'm sorry. So we all go back down, and we all go back to the table, or she comes back to the table. We ordered the couple things we wanted. A few minutes goes by, the check comes. There's no check in it. They comped the whole meal. Yep. And then here comes that dude with 2 take-home bags of like all these desserts, and he gave them to us, and they were like, we want you back at some point. Thank you so much for coming in. And that was this was before I was even like really like that big of a foodie. And I was just like, how the fuck does somebody get that to happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now when I see things in restaurants happen like that, like that's what people do to make people happy.
Right.
She might have went a little bit overboard, but this dude was like, fuck it, I'm going to woo them. Everything's comped, and I'm giving you dessert to go home with. Everybody at that table is going to go back at some point, whether it's with her or without her. And I just remember being like, holy shit, that was awesome. And I've been there before, just like alone or with friends, and had fucking sick meals there. I just don't know why. It never like pops into my brain to go there.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of tucked behind Bar Taco.
Right.
Like, and I think since Bar Taco opened, people kind of like forgot about it. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. That's true. It's much more approachable. It's kind of, think about kind of what we're doing too, you know, with Mercado. Mercado is kind of not that approachable to everybody.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying? You know, there's some menu items on there that people aren't incredibly comfortable with, and there's some people that aren't incredibly comfortable asking questions about it, right? With Guapo, it's chicken.
Yeah.
With chicken with a side of chicken, come get chicken. We serve chicken. It's right there. It's right there in your face. I think it's kind of the same thing with Barcelona Bar Taco, right? Bar Taco, it's got the name right in there. Taco.
Yeah.
It's very approachable to every single person. Everybody loves a taco. Everybody's going to go into there. Barcelona, I think it's kind of part of their marketing. You know, they kind of want to be. They don't want to have a big sign that says Barcelona. They want you to come find them. Come find us because we're gonna give you great customer service. And if we screw up, we're going to fix what we do, but 99% of the time they're going to come through, and they're going to come through with a cocktail that's going to blow your mind, and food that's going to open your mind to a lot of different things. You know,
it's like you said, you want them to come find them. That kind of weeds out the regular Joe from like coming in and thinking it's a regular restaurant. You know,
it sure does.
People don't really understand. Like, well, we do, and a lot of people do, but like your regular person up the street would be like, these are small. Well,
right.
It's supposed to be
exactly. And I think that. That's you kind of want to weed that out a little bit, right? Because it's really unneeded negativity, but just because somebody doesn't have perspective, they
don't know what tapas are. Your wife was just talking about this last week about how she literally has to explain the concept to people all the time,
which is a good thing for Mercado, because really what we're trying to do is engage into a conversation, and we're trying to we're a catering company. The food truck is kind of the front for everything. And what we're trying to do is engage in a conversation so that we can develop a relationship with our customers so that they call us when they have an event and they have a party. So it weeds out certain people that aren't going to come out to the truck. And then we have other people that are asking the questions that are the ones that want to know a little bit more.
Yeah.
And, no chef wants to serve, 100, and we were talking earlier, $120 plate of caviar to somebody who's not going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because
then they're just going to bitch.
Just for the $120. That's most chefs that are out there, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking to make sure that their guests have a great experience. And if they're not open-minded, then it makes it very difficult, and you take it personal,
totally
to a certain extent, So
it's weird, like weeding people out of like the front door. There's so many different types of restaurants right now, and there's so many different types of people with their food taste levels, and you don't really see like your basic dude like stumbling into the front door at Millwrights.
Right.
And you don't see like one of the people from Eater or the Michelin people going to eat at like fucking Shake Shack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a hierarchy. It's like a caste system of food. And it's just like, I love when I see people move through it though.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think you guys could do that for people. I love when I turn people onto shit.
Yes.
And they don't tell me it's gross. Because when I turn somebody onto some shit, they're like, holy shit, I never knew about this. Then they're just going to kind of like climb the ladder.
That's one of the most rewarding parts about it. Mercado specifically too, and a big reason why we put empanadas on the menu is because it's a recognizable name, right? Those people that aren't quite sure about coming up to the truck now have an item that they can relate to, and they come up and they talk and they realize it's not that scary. The questions aren't that hard to ask, and the food isn't really complex.
No.
So when you get somebody to walk up to the truck and order an empanada the first time, the next time they're gonna be okay with ordering something that has duck fat in it, right? The duck fat potatoes. You know, and that's really where we start to develop that relationship and that recurring, you know, customer to come up to the truck.
Bringing them back.
That's super rewarding for us, and we have the ability to do that on the truck. Barcelona doesn't really necessarily have the ability to do that in the restaurant. That is what it is. It's a tapas restaurant. If you don't get it, you don't get it. You know?
And I feel like if you're working the truck, like if you're on it, I've seen people talk to you through the window.
Yeah.
Asking you things, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I feel like some people, your everyday guy would be like kind of intimidated or just like, or they feel like they're bothering you.
Sure.
But like when I see somebody that likes the food, like reach out and ask a question that's answered correctly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why? I wish everybody would do that.
Yeah.
Because then you don't get those people walking away like, oh, it's fucking gross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't believe I paid $5 for a pork belly slider. Well, I should have charged $8, really. You know, if you want to get down to it, I should charge $8 for the pork belly slider, but I'm charging $5 because that's what people are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, and I want people to eat it because it's delicious.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you know, you're going to have all sorts of people out there that are going to, you know, not like something just because of they're just hating.
It's kind of like when you're growing up and your parents tell you you're not going to have those friends 10 years from now.
Yeah. It's
weird. Like I know a lot of people in a lot of different areas of my life, but for some reason, and I can cook some food, but I'm not a chef. However, I've touched all these people in that way.
Yep.
You hang out with me, at some point you're going to eat some crazy shit that you never ate before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I kind of like, I feel good about that. And then I get to bring them to places like your place, and it's just like it's almost like a networking thing, but it's more like infectious.
Right.
Like no one's hanging out with me eating fucking PB&J, like for their lunch. You know what I mean? Like, there was a time where I was that person, but I was like super young. But like, I feel like today, in today's market, the restaurant business is so fucking crazy to what it was when I was in high school.
Right.
Like there was places that you didn't even know about, but like now it's like, there was no cooking shows back then.
Right.
There was like Julia Child, and then there was that other guy, Chan Can Cook.
Yeah.
And he would be like, choppity ginger.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that, but like there wasn't any reality shows, there wasn't any competition shows, and now it's like in your face in your living room. So if you don't know like about like some stuff like that a little bit, like you're like a hermit, or you don't have cable, or you just don't want to leave your house.
Right.
It's kind of mind blowing, and that's why you see so many restaurants doing well nowadays, because everybody knows about food to some degree.
It's hard to get away with.
Yeah, it's hard to escape it.
It's hard to get away from not doing something with quality anymore, because there's a lot of different options out there. You know what I'm saying? And the people who are the places that aren't providing that quality level are weeding themselves out.
And it's like you can't step into the game. You're putting a lot of money on the line. You're opening a restaurant, so you need to have that shit planned out, because you're not going to open up a restaurant and just put out stuff that's not as good as the people around you, because you're going to fail. Your business is going to fail, and you're going to lose a lot of money.
You either got to have something different or something better.
Yeah. And that's how competitive it has gotten.
Yeah.
And it's sad, because like it's weird to watch something fail like that. And I don't cook, I don't own a restaurant, you know, but I'm that person that will come and like test it and look at it. And I just feel like it gets weird. When I see somebody like you or another chef friend of mine doing something that's new and they just take off, like I get so fucking psyched for shit like that. But like we all know, like everybody that we've seen them in our lives, they like at some point something tank, you know what I mean? It's just like, what went wrong?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
What did you say to somebody? And like, where was the food at? It's like kind of interesting, but it's scary.
It is.
It's very scary.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It really is. It's terrifying, because, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, just one bad review can mess up a lot.
One bad review, like one off night in the kitchen, some of your staff, or like, it's strange. Like, like we were talking before, like when the cook leaves the kitchen and the people that work there for him can hold on to that.
Right.
The food, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of guys, like, that's why so many of these guys stay there all the time.
Right.
Like, they have to be, like, the head of the ship.
Right.
Because they all know they've taken a night off to go somewhere and some crazy shit happened.
Yeah. And that's, you gotta have good staff. You gotta have good leaders in the kitchen. That's what you have to have. You have to have good leaders, you know? They don't even necessarily need to be the best cooks in the entire world. They just need to have integrity, and they need to have standards.
Hold it down.
That's it.
Just hold everything down.
That's it. You know?
What, let's switch gears here. As a chef, where have you eaten lately that you really liked, and what, I know what the genre you cook, but what do you like to eat?
I mean, right now, I like chicken fingers and fries. I'm like being very, very
like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, right now.
You're eating what your kids eat.
You know, and I don't really know why. Maybe my palate's changing. I don't really know, but nothing like really speaks to me too much anymore. I don't have a lot of time to eat. I don't eat very well when I work.
I hear that a lot.
It's really difficult for me to do that. I got a lot of, I guess, anxiety going and adrenaline pumping. So it's difficult for me to like sit down, relax, and eat. My boy over at Faux 501 dropped some faux off the other day. Really set my mind straight, which was pretty awesome. Give a shout out to Faux 501
where's 501?
In East Hartford.
Okay, I hear nothing but good shit about that place.
It is the best fucking pho you'll ever have.
Really,
it is absolutely delicious. So Faux 501 East Hartford is the spot to go. Another I'd say two other places right now that I'm real bent on is Cooking the Bear. Ed Jones is doing a fantastic job. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of barbecue. I don't really love smoked foods. He's done such a great job of kind of integrating that, but not like overpowering it. It's a restaurant for everybody.
The funny thing is, like, you don't have to like barbecue to eat there and like the food. Exactly. That's the crazy thing about it.
Exactly. And it's not like I have a dislike for barbecue. I just don't.
It's not your bag.
It's not my bag. But what Ed's doing over there is just absolutely fantastic. And then I'd say Tiger Belly Noodle Bar has been taking me over. Ken over there,
love him.
Just delicious, and you know what, and he's doing it right, in my opinion, because he's not overdoing it. He's got a simple menu, and he knows that he can execute it. He knows that his people can execute it. He knows what he can put on the menu that can be replicated time after time after time. And you know what, I'll go back for the Darkness Bowl every single time. He doesn't need to put anything new on. He doesn't need to put anything new on, dude.
We live in an era right now that ramen is such a fucking like
good ramen.
But people are trying to do it everywhere.
Right. Yes.
And they're fucking it up. And every once in a while, it's kind of like, it's a fad. It's a total fad right now. And I feel bad for him in the sense that something that he executes perfectly, people are fucking up left and round. Yeah, bastardizing it all over the fucking globe. So when I first went there, I forget, somebody was just like, you need to go have this fucking ramen because it's the best I've ever had. And I was like, how's there fucking good ramen in Granby, Connecticut? The fuck are you talking about? Go up there. I was blown away. Blown away. And I went back fairly soon, like within the next 2 weeks.
I did the same thing.
He was there, had a fucking awesome conversation with me. Sweetest motherfucker in the world. Nice guy. I've never had the sushi from there just because I've always just wanted the ramen.
Right.
But I hear from... He brought out some other shit. He didn't bring the
Connie
sushi,
salad,
but the salad, the wings he does, holy shit!
Yes,
and it's a small restaurant, dude. There's probably like
BYOB, which is
you could sit at that bar, and then there's probably like 6 top tables and 2 small ones.
Yep,
like it's a real small operation, dude. It is so good.
He's executing. He's flawlessly every single time,
Flawless.
That's important.
And it's just like in this world of ramen that people are like fucking up left and right. Like is not going to fall out of the top. Like I'll tell you what. Like the best ramen I had before I ate with him was this place at Barchuco
in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint. There's a restaurant called Chuco, but like across the street they have like, it's like their smaller bar area. It's called Bar Chuco, and I got their ramen, and I got like a mazamen one time that was like, it was brothless, but it had like this weird pink sauce in it. Like that was the best I'd ever had. And then when I went to Tiger Belly, I was like, how is this dude here? Like, where'd he come from? Yeah. Like, what was he doing before that? And
he's got a Chinese restaurant out in Granby too. I think he's got like his family owns a Chinese restaurant, I believe. I don't know specifics about it, but
I asked him to come on the podcast last year or so, and the date that I had that I could do it with him, he was going to China. Like he goes there and like does shit and researches and like cooks and like finds shit out and brings it back. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's
awesome.
He's a really good dude, very super humble and appreciative, you know. And you see him in the kitchen. He's ladling the broth into
he's doing everything.
Into the ramen. You know,
he's doing
and
everything.
That says something too, you know.
Yeah.
So
now you got me wanting to fucking go.
And actually, you know what? I got to give April a shout out today too, because I was at the North House today for a graduation party, right? And I think there was probably 40 people in the room, and they probably had 250 people in the entire building. They had 4 different events in the restaurant going on.
Yeah.
Food was fantastic.
Yeah, it doesn't lack when something like that's going on.
Everything was cooked. I got a burger, which was one of the best burgers I've had.
It's awesome.
It's a fantastic burger, Black Angus burger, cooked to perfection. My wife's cooked to perfection. Every single thing that we got was just delicious, you know? And the amount of stuff that they had going on that day, I'm super, super, super impressed. So big shout out to April too, because that was a great brunch.
We went in February, and everything we got, that dude tried to fucking kill me with dessert. Do you ever see one of those big granite slabs come out?
No.
They have like this, you can get any of the desserts they got, but then they have this, it's like you pay a flat rate and they put it all on like one of those big like slate pieces, and it's just me and Meg. Like, I mean, they put this down for like a party, and he just wanted to, like, he knows I love sweets. He must have heard through the grapevine. This dude comes and he lays it down, and like, I'm already vibrating from all the carbs I got, and I'm like, holy shit. And dude, there was an eclair, there was some fucking crazy ass ganache, there was ice cream, there was cake, and so I got this. I don't know what I'm not diabetic. Yeah. But every once in a while, something weird happens with my blood sugar. Yeah. And 3 times in my life, this has happened where I went out to a crazy restaurant, wrote a review or something. The dessert came, nobody wanted to eat it, and I would down like all the dessert. Yeah. And like, I used to weigh like 330 back in the day when I went to rehab. I lost a bunch of weight. Like, my body, and like when it comes to sweets like that, it's like it's a problem, and it's fucked up. Right. So a couple times in my life, ate all the sweets at the end of the night, come home, go to bed, middle of the night, I got to get up and go to the bathroom, pass out while I'm pissing. 2 times I fucking smashed shit. One time was with a girl that I just met in a hotel room. She had to like wake me up and like throw water on my face. I'm butt naked. And it recently happened a few months ago here. Yeah. And Meg never knew about this, you know. She just heard me. She comes running up the stairs, and like, my back's against the wall, and I got my feet like under the toilet bowl. I just collapsed.
Oh my gosh.
Mid piss. And I talked to my doctor about it, and they don't understand it. They just think it's something like some sort of like sugar overload. Yeah. But for some reason, it only happens when I'm urinating. Like, I get to a point where I'm just like, wow. You ever like pee and you're just like, when's it gonna end? Yeah. And you just go for a long time.
You just black out.
And then all of a sudden, before I can even catch myself, I'll be like, oh shit, you got to sit down. And boom, I'm done. So after we ate that dessert there, I came home that night. And I had to get up in the night and go to the bathroom, and I made Meg get up and stand behind me. So you would. She's like, are you doing okay? Yeah. Are you all right? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, those dudes over there, fucking, they're
doing it.
They do it really well, and it's like,
the place is gorgeous too. It's the first time I've ever been in there, and I mean, it's beautiful.
It's like from like the 1600s. Yep. when you walk into that door, okay, you go to the left and the bar's right there and it's like all the seating. If you go back around the other way, the kid Nick brought us back there and he's like, these are the original floors. And it's like, it's weird. It's almost like leather and you're like walking on them, and he brought us all the way down into the back where there's just like these other rooms. Like,
that's where we were today.
It's crazy.
It's really cool. And then the back room is like a stable.
Yeah. With all the, with all like the farm shit on the wall.
Yeah. Big old what is it? A fireplace back there. Looks like they light that up at night.
And then
just cool.
On the other side, near the parking lot, they have the big venue where you can get like married and shit.
Is that right?
The banquet hall.
Okay.
And I think they have 2 of them.
Really?
Like you could do 2 events at the same time. And he walked us through the whole place. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I never really get out. I have no reason to go to Avon.
Sure.
Unless I'm like driving up 44.
Right.
And we went there, dude. It was fucking great. Yep. It was great. And the girl, the chef's name is
April.
Her name's April. I can't remember her last name. But yeah, she came out. She was a sweetheart.
Yep.
She came out and talked to us. Like, I love that.
She
place.
competed in the '86 competition too.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
She was one of 2 women that were in it. She was
Who did she go against?
Who'd she go against? She lost to Xavier, I believe, in the second round. In the first round, she won. I don't know who she went up against because they did like a double round that time that she went up. And it was like her and Xavier ended up winning together that night. And then I think that they went up against each other in the next round. I don't really know. I don't remember. It seems like it was a really long time ago.
I've been friends with Xavier on Facebook for a long time, but I've never like met him or spoken to him.
Sure.
And he reached out to me, like he listened to one of the podcasts and he like messaged me, like he thought something was funny. And I started talking to him and he sent me a flyer for that dinner that him and those 3 other dudes are doing. Did you see him post that?
Yeah. The
dude from, his is Trattoria Toscana.
Yep.
Then there's the kid from the that wine bar in Collinsville.
Francesca's, yeah.
And then there's the dude from the Max Tavern in Springfield. Yep. And then there's the other kid. Who's the other one? The dude from 4.
Yes, I've never met him. He's the only one that I don't know. I met Mike before. I at the '86 competition, but I've never really had a formal introduction. Xavier, definitely friendly with Xavier. He's the man. I really appreciate him and respect him a lot, and he's on a culinary crusade. That man, it's amazing to watch his story. I knew Xavier before I knew Xavier, right?
Okay.
We ended up, we ended up becoming friends on Facebook, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's got his shit together. He's got a vision. He's moving forward. And then, finally we met in person, and we've become pretty good friends, I'd say, since that. And he's very supportive guy. He's a collaborative type of guy. You know what I'm saying? That. And I really like that about him too, is that he wants to embrace the whole culture of it. It's not just about him and his culinary crusade. It's about everything.
He's doing, I can't remember the name. I fucking left my phone inside like an asshole, but he's doing a dinner with all 4 of them at his restaurant out in Glastonbury.
No, Manchester.
Yeah. And it's like the night of the flower moon or something it's called. And when I read into it, that's like the moon of the time of year when everybody harvests or plants or something. And it's like the menu is all built around that. And it's like 6 courses with a wine pairing. And I'm going to go. And I can't wait to fucking eat all their food.
That's a good idea.
It's going to be sick. It's on like a Tuesday night. It's like the end of May. I actually have to talk about that on next week's podcast because I want to get a couple people there.
Yeah.
It looks dope. And I could like that dude from 4. Have you ever eaten there?
Not when he was the chef. I've eaten there once. Probably about a year ago.
I think I might have gone like about a year and a half ago.
I thought it was good.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it. I think it was cool. It's a cool place.
I like the spot, the inside of that building.
They spared no expense, that's for sure. It's pretty swanky.
It looks pretty fucking like.
You wouldn't expect it when you see the building and then all of a sudden you walk in, you're like, whoa, hey,
yeah,
right?
You're like, okay, all right, Starbucks is right there, and then you walk in, you're like, holy shit! And there's like these little bungalows you could step down into.
Yep.
The bar is sick, and then they have those like weird high tops that are near the bar that are like a sofa. but like raised up for you to sit on.
Yep.
I was blown away. I was like, "Yo, this shit is really cool. I want to go back and eat there." But
me too. With the I'm not. I don't remember his name over there, but I've just been hearing a lot of really good things about him. And the other dude from the Francescas, I'm friends with him on Facebook too. I haven't personally met him before, but want to get to Francesca's really bad. The stuff that he's putting up, he is putting out some really, really nice stuff.
I'm pretty sure the building he's in is that one building that there was a place out there called Husk.
Yes.
And there was like they like had a fire or something, and then it turned into something else. I'm pretty sure that's the building.
I'm pretty sure that's the building too. Yeah. Right. It's a small building. I don't think he's got too many seats.
It's super small. And the thing about that area is you ever go out to Collinsville?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love Collinsville.
I proposed to my wife in Collinsville. Underneath the bridge.
Isn't it like another world? It feels like you're going. It doesn't feel like you're in Connecticut.
Absolutely not.
It feels like you're in like fucking some weird town in the fucking upper Oregon or something.
Yeah.
Where everybody's super like nice and like interesting and weird almost.
Yep.
I eat at the Crown and Hammer every once in a while. Yep. But I used to date a girl that lived in like, instead of like going down and then going over the river, you keep going down that weird street. Yeah. And it was like her apartment was an old church, and all of her windows were stained glass. It was very weird. Yeah. They like turned into apartments. Yeah. I like Collinsville. And there's that like across from his restaurant is that place where you can get breakfast in the morning, that weird deli with all like the stuff on the wall.
It's delicious.
Collinsville is very different.
I forgot what his name is.
Fuck,
I want to meet him. If you're listening, I want to come try your food.
Yeah, if you're listening, I
gotta go try your food. I've been stalking it.
Chef from Francesca's, we're coming. We're coming to hang out.
That's probably one of the top of my list of where I want to go. That and Osa. I haven't been to Osa yet. I'm sure if I'd been to Osa, we would have been giving mad props to Osa too, because Matt Wick is a genius.
You'd like it a lot. Yeah, he's doing something that's like he's on another level too, as far as like. Dude makes everything himself. Yeah. Vinegars, preserving, fucking koji, like fucking fermenting. Like he's fucking off the fucking wall. Yep. He's great. I ate there 2 times. It was excellent.
But those 2 places right now are at the top of our list. So, you know, we have a 5-month-old at home, so we don't get much time out right now, and then 2 other kids on top of that. So
me and Meg are trying to do like one place every Saturday. Yeah. And that's the only meal we'll eat off of our diet. Yeah. We're getting married in October. Yeah. So it's kind of all about save a little money and kind of like eat healthy up until then. Right. But like last night I went to that place, the Essex, fucking sick. I'm trying to like do one meal every Saturday. But I will go out. I'm going to that dinner, but I will go to the Francesca's restaurant as soon as possible. Yeah.
Sean Butler. That's his name, Sean Butler.
I think it is. Mm-hmm.
But doing good stuff, man. Keep it up.
Who else? There's a couple cool things going on. Dude, this restaurant opened across the street from my house, and it's called Numi. No, Nudie is around the corner. This one's called Numi, Nummy, right next to the left of Elmwood Pizza. Okay. Right there on the corner. Yep. Went there the other day. Blown away.
Delicious?
Blown away by the food. More blown away by the attitude of the guy that's like the manager. Dude, I can't believe. So when we're sitting in there.
What kind of food is it?
I don't like using Asian fusion. Okay. So I like to say Asian eclectic.
Asian eclectic, okay.
So we're sitting in there, and he's like, we go in, so we see the sign up, and I see people in there. Yeah. So I go walk the dog over there the day before we eat. I go inside. There's nobody in there. There's these 2 ladies back in the kitchen. They don't even see me. I walk in, I grab a menu, I look at it, I look up. They still don't see me. So I kind of like leave without them seeing, because I didn't know if they wanted me to take the menu or not. Yeah. But I took the menu, I brought it home, I looked at Omega. I was like, dude, this looks fucking interesting. Yeah. Skewers, like yakitori skewers. Yep. A couple. They don't do a ramen, but they do a couple different kind of soups, and then a bunch of like appetizers. And the next night we go in there. We sit down. The dude's just super nice. He's like, "You guys from the area?" And we're like, "We live right there. You could point out the window." And I was like, "That's our house right there." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, that's awesome." Da, da, da. I was like, "Dude, like we're really psyched. We didn't know what this was going to be for the longest time. Now we know." he brings these things. I get these things called golden buns, and they're kind of like a sweet dish. It's like a little bun with like condensed milk on the top.
Yeah.
And they were awesome. And he comes back and we're talking, and I was like, listen, dude, I was like, Americans are fucking gluttons. Put a little bit more of that fucking condensed milk, and you'll be good, right? He starts laughing. He goes back to the kitchen. He comes back. He brings us some more food. Then he brings out something that we didn't order. He brings out these wings. He's like, try these. Yeah. I'm like, dude, who the fuck is this guy? He's so fucking nice. They have weird drinks on the menu, and they had a chai tea. And we get it, and like, you get chai tea from a place, it's watery. You get a place from another place, it's too sweet, like Dunkin' Donuts bullshit. Yeah. This shit was what it's supposed to be like. And I told him, I was like, you can't find this. Yeah. And he's like, I'm glad you like it. We pay the bill. Here he comes with another fucking chai tea in a to-go container, and he gives it to us. And me and Meg are like, holy fuck. He comes back out. The golden buns with more extra fucking condensed milk on it. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? His name is Ron. He's a fucking sweetheart. So we walk out, and Meg turns to him, and she looks at him, and he walks out with us. I shake his hand, and she's like, when did you guys open? And he goes, we actually opened this next coming week. And she goes, what do you mean? He goes, this is just our friends and family night. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, we didn't know. Yeah. And he goes, you're from the neighborhood. It's cool. You're family. My fucking mind almost exploded right then and there. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. And I'm just like, I looked at him and I was like, people, you don't find that.
Next level service.
You don't find that. I don't care if the food wasn't even that good. I'm going back because of that dude. Mm-hmm. I was blown away. But yeah, there's all kinds of
this
good
whole
shit.
Area is really picking up.
I'm really glad.
I mean, me too. I think it's a nice area, and it, you know, unfortunately the tapas closed.
I can't even talk about it.
Yeah, it's got to be tough for you. I mean, literally chuck a stone and hit it from here.
I'm heartbroken.
But, you know, I think that, you know, this area of West Hartford is...
I'm psyched.
You know?
I'm psyched for it. It's cool. It's like, it's not like no fucking Blueback or like fucking the center, but it's third on the list. Sure. It's getting cool. Yep. I really like it. I'm proud to be from this little area. Well, my friend, we've gone for an hour and 7 minutes. Wow. Felt like 15, right?
It did.
You want to just like let people know where they can find you guys, and anything else you want to plug, let them know.
No, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. We've been trying to plan this for a minute, and we never even got to go into your day at work with me.
We did, which was with your wife.
Yeah, which was cool. But no, I think the whole culinary community, I think, appreciates what you're doing. I think, you know, it's important to get information out there, and not just, you know, again, it doesn't just come down to food. It comes down to hospitality. Yeah. You know, it comes down to just going above and beyond. And there's a lot of people in this area that are doing that right now. Mm-hmm. They're going above and beyond, you know, what's required. And I think that I'm really excited to see a lot of people responding to that, and kind of creating a new standard. Yeah. A new quality standard in the area, you know, which I think has been lacking a little bit. You know, some of the, you know, not so great restaurants, you know, were thriving because people were just used to mediocrity, and now I don't think that people are doing that anymore. No, you know, and by talking about it, and by, you know, visiting places and shouting them out, it's helping that cause, you know, and that's what we try to do at all of our places, you know, and again, not everybody's going to get it, but we put in, you know, we go above and beyond to try to make sure that the food and the hospitality, and that
you guys totally do
that everything is above and beyond, you know, and that also costs a little extra money too, you know, so it's not like
in the end it works.
At the end it does work, and you know, we just want to continue to do that, and we'd like to expand our brands and our business, and you know, we still need more people too. So I'd like to give a shout out for that. You know, if there's anybody out there that's interested in working in a positive environment with a growing company, you know, you don't even need to have that many skills. You just need to have a good attitude, you know, and that's really what we're looking for, because all the other stuff can be taught. You know, attitude is the one thing that can't be. So if there's anybody out there that's interested in doing it, you know, don't be scared. You know, from beginners to professionals, you know, there's spots for everybody.
I didn't know how to split a chicken in half until I met you. Now I do.
And that's just one way to split a chicken in half. I didn't know how to split a chicken in half either until we opened the first day.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, man. Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Everybody that's listening, you know, go to El Pollo Guapo on the, you know, the El Pollo Guapo end of the turnpike.
That's right.
You know, across from the street from that old other chicken place where girls wear orange and white.
Yes.
And for lunch, what days are you at Bushnell Park?
Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays with the truck.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Mercado truck. Every time there's a Coventry Farmers Market, you'll see them there. And are you at every single No Good? Did you?
Oh yeah, we're at every single. That's one of our favorite events to go to. That deserves a lot of props too. That event is super cool. If you haven't been to the No Good Market yet, in
every second Thursday of the month, Bartholomew Street outside of Hog River Brewing, 4 to 7.
4 to 7.
4 to 7. The kid that puts it on, somebody put me in touch with him. Yeah,
he does a great job. He also he helps out with a lot of. He's huge into the community, and that's really where I think this event differs from a lot of other places. You know, I'm not a religious person, but I guess I consider myself kind of spiritual in some ways. There's an energy there
there is a total energy that is
really just like no other event that we do.
A lot of people converge there that are creating things.
Yes.
A friend of mine, Andrea Cortez, put me in touch with that guy because she was like, you two need to know each other.
Yeah.
And she's working on like an artist collective for the Parkville section of Hartford.
Right.
She wanted me to get involved in, and he's like one of the guys in that area.
Yeah.
So that dude's doing big things, and I really appreciate that he did something like that, because it's pretty much, I can pretty much tell you right now, like if nobody knows what it is, it's more like an urban creativity artists farmers market.
Right. With excellent food, you know, we're there. Craft Bird is usually there. Chief Brody's is usually there. You can go and get great food. Hog River's open. You can go in and grab a brew.
People
it's pretty lax. It's pretty lax around there. You can kind of
People have like their own like booth set up as far as like. There's like a Hartford Denim one.
Sure, yeah.
Somebody else might be doing some artistic stuff. There's music playing the whole time. Yeah, like I love that. I love that event.
Yeah, but there's just an energy there that's just awesome. People are there, and it's diverse, and people are there to have a good time. And more than likely, if you go there as a consumer, you're going to go there and you're going to meet somebody that you've never met before. You know what I'm saying? You're going to meet new people, and you're going to be happy about it.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
I've met some really cool people there that I would have not run into in my regular, you know, passing around the city.
Right.
But yeah, man, everybody, you know, check that out. That's the second Thursday of every month.
Actually, this Thursday, it's the 10th.
This Thursday coming up. So you guys are all going to hear this Tuesday. So on Thursday, go there 4 to 7.
Thursday 4 to 7.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to have had you. I really appreciate you. As somebody that eats good food, I appreciate people that have a standard that you do.
Thank you.
And that's fucking it, dude. That's really it.
Be on the lookout for some more new fun things in the next, I don't know.
Within the year.
Yeah, within the year. You haven't seen anything yet.
I'm psyched for the new menu, dude. All right.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, everybody. Roy Riedl.
Thank you.